why Mike Brown's mom wanted us to keep silent for 4 minutes last night. Mike Brown's body lied on the ground, bullets, roses blooming from his back, blood all over the ground for 4.5 hours. The police shot him dead, emptied a clip of ammunition into his back, and left his body on the ground for 4.5 hours. They treated him like he was a dog. Treated him worse than they would treat one of their dogs. If their dog died, they wouldn't leave it on the ground for 4.5 hours.
A man got arrested, 25 to life for shooting a police dog, not monthly.
Yep. Exactly.
They treated him worse than they would treat his dog.
Exactly. So I want to tell you guys something. It's another one I learned with the OSA. It's important and it means a lot to me. Go. It's another call and response. I am somebody. And I deserve. Full equality. I am somebody. And I deserve. Full equality. I am somebody. And I deserve. Full equality. Anybody else want to come up and speak?
Yeah.
Come up here.
Okay. Alright, so I'm out here, and this one goes out to my dad who begged me not to come to anything like this. So, I was raised to respect the police. If the police were doing something, they were probably right, and you were the one who was doing something wrong. It wasn't until I got older that I realized that I needed the help of the police, that they'll just turn that shit back around on you. I ran into some trouble last year where I needed the police to help me out, and it was, what were you wearing? What were you doing there? Why were you drunk? And it's the same language that is used when people talk about Mike Brown. Why was he dressed like a thug? He might have shoplifted. Why was he black? It doesn't take 100 days to figure out whether or not somebody committed murder. It takes 100 days to figure out how you're gonna fucking explain to an entire country of people that what fucking Darren Wilson, it was justified. I mean,
Right.
Change the rules.
Yeah.
What you said's important, right? These cops, they're not just killing our black men. When a woman is raped, they cover it up. When someone is assaulted, they cover it up. All they want is to protect their interests. They want to protect the rich white men that are running our fucking country, and this country is a country we gotta take back.
Right.
We cannot let our system be ruled by a select few who do not have our interests at heart. We have to organize. We have to take these streets over. We have to take our country over, and it starts here. It starts in Columbus. It starts with us getting a police system that does not have the second highest per capita murder rate in the goddamn country. It starts with us having a city council that does not allow our education system to be sold out to Chase Bank. It starts with us having a system that holds rapists accountable for their crimes. It starts with one community, one block. If you don't feel comfortable organizing the streets, that's fucking fine. Get on your campus. Get on your neighborhood. Talk to your friends. This can't end here. It's not enough. You have to take this place over. Yeah!
do not rely on Fox News, CNN, News 10. I don't even watch the news, so I don't know the names of all of them. You need to go to the social media. You need to look online. The white people sitting in the offices and desktops and cubicles with beautiful views, watching us be at funerals of little girls and boys. They're not going to tell us what we need to know. They're not going to tell us the truth. Do you know what they tell you in the news? Mike Brown fought back. He charged at Darren Wilson. You know what really happened? Mike Brown was shot 130 feet away from his vehicle. And Darren Wilson shot inside of his vehicle. Did they say that on the news? Did you hear that on the news? Because they don't want you to know. They don't want you to know that this was not justified. Rely on your social media. Rely on the cell phone videos that you find. Rely on the cameras from people who are protesting. Rely on your neighbor. Don't trust the news. They're not going to tell you what you need to know. They'll tell you something that's happening, but they're not going to tell you what's going on behind the scenes. They're not going to tell you Did they tell you that they were looting the McDonald's for the milk to get the tear gas out of people's eyes? No. They told you that they were looting. They said it was looting. That's all you need to know. Crazy black people looting. That's not what it was. And that's not what it's going to be. That's not what it is. And that's not what we're going to make it. Trust your neighbor. Trust your social media. Trust your friends. Trust your family. Don't put your faith in Fox, CNN, etc., etc. Trust each other. That's what we need to do.
The prosecutor for this case, he told us that we should be blaming social media for everything that's happened. But social media is a large part of the reason we know that anything happened. The one good thing that might have come out of all of this is that now that all of the evidence has been presented, which is a very strange thing to do in an indictment hearing, now that all of that evidence is there, it's in the public circle. You guys can go and look that up online and see how gross this miscarriage of justice has in fact been. It is all online. You can find all of it. And you should go read that.
There's two people in a row that touched on it. Google is the second best book ever wrote. Straight up, it is. If you don't believe it, if they're trying to sell you something that you know is not true, Google it. Go home and look at it. You see the cell phone running right now. Everybody wave. Because you're being picked up by somebody in Ferguson right now, and this is probably going to go worldwide.
Hey guys, while we're talking about social media, I want us all to know the Twitter and Instagram hashtag I've been trying to get us used for this event is Columbus with Ferguson. I wish I thought of something more snappy, but that's what we're using. So just stick with that.
We like
got
it.
this man up here. Hello.
Hello.
Good evening.
Good evening.
As we go from this point on, we must not forget what we have learned. So we need to keep learning. We need to keep in contact with each other and even more people than this. We must keep the fire going. We must keep it burning. We must remember that the only way that we can fight ignorance is not to go down to ignorance's level. We must educate them. We fight ignorance with education, with knowing the facts, knowing what we need to know. So when people ask us, we can fight back by telling them what they need to know. I believe that from this point on, we need to stand together.
Right.
Yeah! Woo! Woo! Can they see us right now?
Yes.
We are with you! Ferguson!
All pics and video I'm shooting today will be on the We See You project also.
First of all, I'd like to thank my mom for bringing me out here because it took a lot of convincing to get her to come up here.
Thanks, Mom!
We're middle class. We experience privilege every single moment of our lives. And it took seeing this, it took seeing all the people who have been murdered by cops before Mike Brown for me to realize that this isn't, the way I live is not how everyone else in the country lives. And the fact that basically half our population has to be scared walking around the streets disgusts me.
Right.
And the fight does not end here, and it doesn't end with Mike Brown. It doesn't end with Darren Wilson getting put in jail for the rest of his life. Because this is a problem that continues and has been a thing in our country since basically the country was founded. Our country was essentially founded on taking people's land and shoving people out on the basis of who they are. And I just want everyone here to know that you're amazing and beautiful people, and I hope that we can all continue standing up and carry on this fight. And I want everyone to know to always watch social media and know what's going on. There were 1.4 million tweets about Mike Brown's death before any news station reported it. And that's why it is the most important tool in this fight, and don't listen to people who try and tell you you're just sitting in front of a computer doing nothing, because just by reblogging